Okay. Wait. Hey guys. Hi from Tarragona, Spain. So I am here aboard the JOIDES Resolution. It's a deep sea drilling ship, and I'm going to introduce you to some people that are going to be helping me out with the tour. So this is David. He teaches 8th and 9th grade science. So hi, David. This is Sequoia. She's going to be helping with slow-mo. And she works for AGI, which is the American Geosciences Institute that is helping us out with writing these letters and things. And then here we have Carliana, and she teaches high school science. So if you have any questions or anything like that, go ahead and type them into the chat, and I will get to them when we have a second to get to them. So what I was showing you is just a view outside the window. We are on the bridge deck, which is the highest deck. You guys are gonna correct me if I say something wrong. But what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna walk outside and we're gonna go to the actual bridge so you can see like where the captain is at and everything. And then we'll take you basically kind of like around almost the whole ship to the drilling deck where they collect core samples and everything. So we are gonna go. Hopefully you don't get motion sickness. Let's go out this one. We're gonna go out this one. Yeah. This is Angela. She's my roommate. And Alyssa. They're also teachers in Illinois, where my sister lives. They live really close to my sister. Okay, yes. So here we are. So this is the front of the ship, and these are lifeboats. There are 4 lifeboats on board them. So they will actually hold a lot of people. It's really windy. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. We are currently docked in Tarragona. I'm walking, making my way to the bow of the ship, which is the front of the ship. And this right here is what's called the bridge, where the captain is at. Get over to the other side. Dock. It's a little less now. Okay. It'll get less windy once we turn the corner. Here's the parking lot, and there's actually a basketball court down there. I saw some of the drillers playing basketball the other day. There's Tarragona way in the back over there. Here are the other 2 lifeboats. If you've been following Slow-Mo on Instagram, I took a picture of him inside this back one. So we went inside there to do a drill. And then we're gonna walk this way. Here you can see one of the cranes. So they use these cranes to put equipment on the ship. And basically like anything that they need for drilling or anything like that is lifted by these 2 cranes, and there's one on each side of the ship. So it can take stuff from the dock onto the ship, and it can, and you know, we're talking about like drill pipe or food. That's how we get food and anything that's heavy on board. Let me check the chat. Oh, somebody said happy belated birthday. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna go forward. So here's the crane, and there's a little window that you can see right there, and that's where the crane operator sits inside when he's driving the crane. And so they'll swing the crane over the side of the ship, which is the port side, and they'll bring food on and equipment and everything on. And down here, you can see this right here. Let me see if I can point at it. That is what's called reentry cones. So they'll put those down at the bottom of the ocean at drill sites, so it's easier to get back to a hole that they started drilling. And then this is all, or some of the drill pipe that they use. There's a lot more drill pipe way over there on the kind of on the other side. Okay, so now we're crossing a yellow and black line, so we have to put on our hard hats and our glasses. Thank you. Thank you, David. David's been very helpful.
What I'm here for.
So we're gonna walk this way, and we get a really cool view of the drilling derrick. The drilling derrick is, what I remember is 20 elephants tall. I think it's like 170 feet, 93 meters, something like that. So 20 elephants is a little bit more relatable. So you can see one of the drillers down there. We're gonna go down here in a second. So right there, let me see if I can point it out. Where's my, no, because you can't come on the drilling floor without, yeah, the steel-toed shoes. But right there, this is where the drill pipe goes down through the ship, and there's basically a hole in the ship. It's like a really big hole. It's basically almost the size of like a swimming pool. They call it the moon pool, and the drill goes down through there. So you can kind of see the red area around here where I'm pointing. That's where the drill pipe goes down. And so basically they use all of this equipment here to attach the drill pipes to each other and make the drill pipe longer and longer and longer until it basically goes through all of the water and then is able to drill into the ocean floor. And so they attach the pipes end to end. And this is the only ship that actually stores their drill pipe horizontal. And so they attach the pipes kind of like what you guys do with your markers when you attach all your markers together and it makes like a really long stick. That's what they're doing with the drill pipe. And so this is the drilling derrick, really, really tall. And the drill pipe comes down, goes through the ship, right there, down through the ship, all the way down through the ocean to the ocean floor, okay? And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down these stairs. And get a better look. If you guys have any questions, type them into the chat. So here's another view of the derrick. Okay. Hold on, there's a bunch of people. Let me admit the other people I'm joining, they just popped up. Okay. Okay, so for those of you guys that are just joining, we kind of went around the outside of the ship, and now we are at the drilling derrick. So it's 20 elephants tall. How many is that feet? 100. What? It's 93 meters, 270 feet. Is that right? It's 20 elephants. I remember the 20 elephants and the 93 meters. Sorry. And so here are some of the drill bits. So I'm going to explain the different drill bits. This one right here, the red one, that one is just for drilling. That is not going to collect any core. So basically, if they're just wanting to make a hole. The next one this one is going to be used for hard rock or harder sediment. And so it's like, you'll see that it has kind of like a narrower opening than this one does. And so this is going to be for piston coring. So that one, they use it on a smaller sized sediment. So when I was on board years ago in 2015, 2016, this is the one that we used because we were doing really, really hard rock. Each of these cost about $35,000 and will last for about 60 hours of drilling. Of course, that depends on like how hard the rock is and things like that. You know, the sediment's going to be a lot easier to drill through than hard rock will. But these are the drill bits. And so these go, they're upside down right now, right? Because we're seeing the bottom of them. So basically, if you like flip them around, they're going to go down into the crust, right, into the sea floor, and they're going to rotate and drill. And basically the core gets collected in through there. So, oh, thanks. What happens with the core is it's collected in these core tubes, but these are just like half of the core tubes. And oh, thanks. And the core is brought from here. The tube of core is brought from there, and it's laid out here on what's called the catwalk. And so people will carry along the core. You guys want to act like you're carrying core? So it's going to get carried, and they're going to put it on the catwalk right there, and they're going to clean off the pipe because it comes in like super duper muddy. And then they cut it into 10-meter pieces. And so the core tubes are super duper long. Well, they come in 10-meter pieces, and then they cut them into like 3-meter pieces, depending on how big the core is. So this is what the rock or the sediment comes in when it comes out of the drill pipe. So it's kind of like when you take your straw and you stick it inside of a milkshake, and then you pull it out of the milkshake and it's full of milkshake on the inside of it. That's basically what's happening here, but we have it full of either sediment or rock, depending on the expedition. And what David is holding is he's holding the cutter. So they cut the core into smaller pieces so it's easier to carry, because the 10 meters, right, it's going to be way too much to carry. So they cut it into like meter long pieces or so, or maybe 3-meter long pieces, depending on the rock and how much sample they got and things like that. And Carliana, she has the tops. And so the different colored tops will tell you which way is up. So blue is for sky. So that's how it was in the ocean floor. And then the bottom is a different color depending on different things. Sometimes they'll take a sample and put a different color there. So different colors stand for different things, but the blue one is always up towards the sky. So that means that it's like, yeah, it's up like that. So that's closer to the top, and we know which way goes up. Okay. So usually, I'm not used to talking so much. Usually the core would go through here, but they're doing maintenance and stuff. So that's the kind of thing that what's happening on the ship right now, they will maintain and, you know, fix stuff while it's docked like this. So that's the kind of work that they're doing right now. So David's gonna open this door. So we're gonna go through this one. Thank you, David. And then, so the core typically comes in through this door right there that we just saw. And then what happens first is called whole round measurements. So the core comes in kind of like looking like that, or looking like that back there. So it's still whole round core. And then they put it into these instruments. Hi, we're talking to my school. And so they put them into this machinery and they measure stuff. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you do?
So here we have the Wurzel track. This is a core section like we run through. I can start a measurement for you guys. Let's see. All of our cores are labeled like this so we can keep track of them as they go through the lab. We can scan it into the system. Or I can select manually with our software. And you can see the core will just get pushed through the track.
There it goes.
So this instrument here is measuring physical properties of the core. This measures the density of the core. This loop measures the magnetic susceptibility of the core. And here you'll see these two transducers will squish the core and measure the P wave velocity or the sound velocity through the core. These are some of the basic measurements that we take in the lab.
Thank you. So over here, we have more measurements that happen over here. And then it goes into the cutting room over here. And this is where it's cut in half, lengthwise. So basically what they do with the round core, let me admit a few more people. They'll cut the round core. They'll place it right there where David has his hands. And then they split it in half lengthwise. And then they'll put it into these holders here. And then depending on if it's hard rock and stuff, they might use the saws back there to cut it as well. And then it's brought over here. So now that it's cut into two halves, and these are some examples of some sediment cores, it's they're separated into the working half and the archive half. So these, notice how they both have W's. These are both working halves. So the working halves, samples are taken from the cores, and the archive half is not touched, it's just described. And so basically they describe things like color and consistency and grain size and things like that. And then they put it away to save it. And the working half is sampled. So you'll notice here that they took out samples. These are foam pieces where they actually extracted samples from this core. So these are sediment cores. So they're dirt, they're not hard rock. And then there's some more measurements that are taken back here. And then these are more core describing tables. So they'll lay out the core here and they'll describe what the core looks like. And then they basically do magnetic susceptibility, which is over here. And magnetic susceptibility has to do with Earth's magnetic field. And they can record whenever Earth's magnetic field has flipped. In the past, which it has done in the past multiple times. Is it going to happen anytime soon? No, probably not. And then we've got lots of microscopes back here. So here are some microscopes, and we were actually using these a little while ago to see some of the samples that were collected. So I'm going to take you over here to the wet lab. Yeah. Is he busy?
He's washing stuff right now.
Okay, so Fabrizio's over here. This is Fabrizio. Hi, this is my school. Do you want to tell them what you're doing?
Hello, I'm Fabrizio. I work with as a technician here on board of JR. Now I'm Fabrizio. And I work with the core describers in the tables where they describe what they are looking in our samples. We also work with microfossils here, and to retrieve the microfossils from the sediments, we use these sieves and we wash the material inside of these sieves. In the end, we have a result close to that we can check here. After we wash our material, they come in from these small papers, as like this, that you can see it's a very fine sand and mud. And after that, the scientists go to the microscope to look what we have here and make the analysis.
Thank you, Fabrizio.
Welcome.
So they use the microfossils to determine the age of the sediment, and basically by looking at the microfossils and what's living or what was living in the sediment of they can determine like how old the sediment is and things like that. And so this actually helps a lot with that. So different species of different diatoms and plankton and things like that will tell you the age of the sediment, how old it is. Okay, we have about 10 minutes. So I would love it if you guys had some questions to ask. And I can take my helmet off finally. If you guys want to type some questions. Oh, looks like, what are the, let me see. What are some of the different job titles aside from scientists that are on the ship? So there's drillers also. There's of course the people that are like running the ship, like the captain and things like that. There's engineers as well. We went down to the engine room. Unfortunately, I can't take you down to the engine room because there's no Wi-Fi down there. But there's like that kind of thing. So basically just like the basic running of a ship that, you know, it's like jobs that you'll find on every ship. But then there's also the drillers because it's a drilling ship. And so those are the guys that usually you see wearing the orange suits and they're on the drill floor and they're doing repairs and stuff. So there's lots of engineers and drillers that are doing that. And then there's also people that like work in the galley, which is like the mess, like the cafeteria. So they make food and things like that. We also get our laundry done, which is really nice. And then there's of course the scientists and everybody that are doing the work. So the scientists and the techs, they will stay on for 2 months, and then you know, a new crew will replace them. Okay, any other questions? Is the pool at the water level of the ship, or how do they keep water from getting in the ship? Buoyancy. Yeah, so hi, Ms. Villarreal. So the pool is basically at water level, and it's because of basically displacement, the size of the ship, that the ship can basically have a hole in the middle of it, and it doesn't sink. Yeah. Huh? No, I don't think the Wi-Fi works down there. Yeah, we can't take you all the way down there because the Wi-Fi doesn't work. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a really good question. They're asking if the research is ongoing. Typically, yes, not right now, but usually the ship will have like 3 or 4 expeditions per year. So they're 2-month-long expeditions, and then there's transits in between the expeditions. For example, right before we got on, it was actually in Greece, and so an expedition, you know, was going on around this island called Santorini in Greece. And then when they were done, they docked in Greece, and then they transited over here to Tarragona, Spain. I think it was like a week-long transit or something. And then they're tied up here to do repairs and get supplies and things like that. And then it's going to go out to the next expedition. So the next expedition is not for another 6 weeks. And we actually had a Zoom with the scientist that's in charge, one of the co-chief scientists that's in charge of that expedition yesterday. And so they're actually going to the Azores, which it's like these little islands kind of a little ways away from here. I don't remember how long the transit is to the Azores. Do you guys remember how long it's going to take them to get to the Azores? But it's not that long, like less than a week. Yeah. So it's going to take them like, yeah, a few days to get to the Azores, to get to their drill sites. And then they'll be kind of like hopping around. There were like 3 or 4 different drill sites that she was talking about. And she was saying that, you know, what they're going to be doing. And basically they're they're going to be drilling at this place called the Lost City that has some hydrothermal vents, which is really cool. And they're looking for kind of the area of the Earth's crust that leads to the mantle. Okay. Any other questions? I have 5 more minutes. Have you identified any new microorganisms or sediments on that side of the world? That's a really good question. So I don't know about here, but I know that the microbiologist that was on board, Jason, who I've talked to my students about, and he's going to come and visit Memorial in probably in the next few months. Jason has been on the JOIDES resolution several times, and he actually discovered a microorganism, and he named it Rigellus profundi. And it was a microorganism that was found near hydrothermal vents. And so he was able to name it and everything. And so so stuff does get discovered that was never known on the ship. How long will the ship be in Spain? So the ship's gonna be here like another 6 weeks, I believe. The next expedition doesn't start for another 6 weeks. I don't know if it's gonna be in Spain the whole time, because I think it's gonna transit and go to another dock, and then all the scientists are gonna meet them out there, I think, right? I'm not sure, I don't remember.
Yes,
Yeah, they're gonna go to another dock, and then from there they'll leave to go on the next expedition. Any other questions? Yeah. Oh, slow-mo. Here's slow-mo. He's wearing a shirt with the seal of the expedition from the one that I was on, Expedition 360. Okay. And then, no, I think we have like 3 more minutes. I miss you guys too. Oh yeah, my shirt. I wanted to show you guys my shirt. I'm wearing a Memorial shirt. Yay. We love that you're working and having fun. You make us so proud. Oh, I love you guys too. I miss you guys. I'll be back probably not Monday. I've had some trouble adjusting to the time difference. So I am 7 hours ahead of you. So right now it's almost 4 o'clock. So you guys would already be out of school. So we're 7 hours ahead. And like last night was the first night that I actually got to sleep through the entire night. I've been exhausted and really sleepy because my sleep pattern is kind of like all messed up. So we'll see if I make it to school on Monday, because I'm coming back Sunday, and I don't know if I'm going to be ready to go to work on Monday, but if not, I'll be there on Tuesday. Okay, I promise. Oh, you're welcome. I love doing this stuff, and I love sharing it with you guys. Any last minute questions? We have 2 minutes left, and then we have a presenter to get ready for. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye. Oh, move back so that she can take my picture. Okay. There. Oh, let me get slow-mo. Hold on. Here's slow-mo. Thank you, Ms. Villarreal. Okay, I will see you guys next week.
Bye, Ale. It's me, Raymond.
Bye.